Right, how you all doing? Before I get into the nitty gritty of what I said I was going to talk about yesterday, I wanted to say how disappointed I am at myself that I got distracted enough to break routine, break a cycle. So, what's in the routine? What is part of my cycle? What are the little addictions? Okay, the daily vlog. Done a daily vlog every single day for 3,000 plus days. Still do it. Live streams. Daily live streaming now for a good few years. Been live streaming for longer, but daily, a couple of years. Still doing that. This year, though, we had the addition of guitar, 6-string, and bass, and I was on a minor health kick. So I said that I was going to lose. How much? I was going to lose £8, weren't I, in 2 months?
You did it.
Yeah, I did it. But I've been just nothing hardcore. Just every day after taking the kids to school, you know, I'll get up, get ready, take the kids to school, come home, have a shower, weigh in. Guitar and bass would have been day 100 yesterday. I fucked it up. I literally got out of the shower yesterday. I was like, I've got 45 minutes to do other stuff like bass and do my weigh-in and stuff like that because I was late and I didn't do it. Not until like, I don't know, it was like 5 past midnight. So I broke the cycle on that. And same for the weight thing. I've just been trying to keep track of a doggo trying to jump on a bed, but I screwed it up. Really disappointed in myself. Anyway, on to the meat of what I wanted to talk about today. Instant photography. Got a little bit distracted again. That is not me ringing. There's my ringing. It's my distraction. We've just been potting about, cooking, cleaning,
making bedding in,
walking the doggo in.
Dogging.
No. Just no. So, yeah. What we wanted to talk about a bit was this stuff. If anyone didn't know, I love photography. If there are two things that have always kind of tickled my brain a bit from when I was a little boy up to now: cameras and radio. Now I hear absolutely no one saying, what you mean, like not computers, mate? Not computers? No, not computers. In fact, computing is something that my family pushed me into. I like computers, I do like computing, but it's just, that's something my family always thought I was good at. I just like playing games. So, you know, my family have always pushed that I do things with computers, I learn things about computers, I can navigate around a computer, I can code and do all these little bits and bobs, but as I've gotten older, computers have just been a thing to get in the way and cause more trouble. So they're not something that I've continuously like, yeah, computers, great, woo. Once upon a time they enabled you to do like really cool, amazing things. Now I just feel they're stuck up everyone's backsides. But this stuff, photography, I remember when I was a little boy and I was at my nan's house, she always had like these like, you know, little cameras and Polaroids and things like that about. I think my nan had a Polaroid. I know she had like a little really slim like Kodak thing. And just the idea of photochemistry intrigued me. That you could just capture light on this piece of film and bam, there you go, photograph. It was really cool. Same with radio. You could chat in one end and literally hundreds of miles away someone else could be hearing what you're saying. It's kind of cool. This is really just kind of more radio-y thing for me, but with a visual element. And my wife, she's rattling.
See, mine isn't as easy to...
To silence your rattling. Hang on. There's a little bit of a rattle still on mine, but wait, so what's the deal with your bell?
So you can hear me coming, it's only fair.
Thank you. I always know when you're coming.
Fuck up.
Because I'm always like, where is she? Hello? Sitting at the door with my little tail wagging. Wifey! Pee.
Where you go? Follow me.
She's about me.
Again.
So, I should have probably actually been told off when I was a kid for playing with all the cameras and stuff, to be honest with you. I even remember in middle school, I went to it was like a photography class. Just randomly at one point in school, the science lab was opened up and they're like, do you want to learn how to like develop stuff?
Yeah.
Like, I've not really done it much since, but I remember doing that, and like the science teacher opens up the lab, we all go into the dark room, you know, we're prattling around with all these bits of kit to expose this stuff, to get a photograph at the other end of it. It was cool. Pinhole photography, that was my first experience in pinhole photography. You know, he was like, oh, check this out. You get, it's a little box, and you put we put this piece of in the box, blue tacked it in, and he's like, right, we're going to leave the dark room, we'll prick the hole in the box, or we'll cut a hole in the box and cover it in paper, cover the hole that we prick in the paper with your thumb or your finger. We're going to walk outside, you're going to point the camera at roughly what you want to take a picture of, let go of the pinhole, and then do that for a second or two, cover it back up, we're going to walk back in and we'll see what we got. Simple as hell, really fun. My mind was, there was a picture. Like literally a box with a piece of fluff in it was taking a picture. We just had to do some magic to get it to be a picture. Digital photography is rad. Again, that's the whole computer thing now. Now we can take pictures of everything. It's really cool. Everyone has a camera now. I remember when I was younger, having a camera was expensive, very expensive, and storing anything was really, really expensive. Americans probably don't understand that, because in America, from most of the Americans I know, their families had home movies of like the 80s and stuff like that. Over here in the UK, not so much of a thing. No one I know really has home movies or home video of them growing up. It's all just like random stills. We now take hundreds of thousands of photos. They all get binned when your hard drive dies. You never really look at them that much. They sit on a server somewhere. Occasionally you might flick through them. Or, as is usually the case, Google or Facebook will say, hey, do you remember this, Dan? You're like, oh, I don't want to remember that anymore. And then you delete it. So, this is a random thing. Photography was expensive. This is too. What this stuff does, because one type of photography that's always got me, I love low-key, I love candids, I love landscapes, I just like photos. But this stuff, instant photography, is fucking cool. So I just continuing on the distraction. Hang on. If it doesn't come out as red, that's red. Ish. It's for spaghetti and meatballs, homemade meatballs, spaghetti sauce. Distraction. I don't think instant photography should ever die. Because are these the ones we did today, Anki?
Yeah.
Excellent. So what you got here is and these are all, there's a lot of other stuff in there. We've got a couple of camps here. Are you sure? Where's the... there you go. Okay, so there's one thing I love about instant photography. These look really dark, but I mean, honestly, if you go outside, dynamic range isn't a huge thing of instant photography, but if you were to look at these under a bright light, you'd actually be able to see all the detail in them. Yeah, I had to when we were at the hospital. you get an instant photography. You get a photo, a physically framed, matted object that you can hand to somebody else. Okay, digital's great. You can message it around. You can manipulate it, whatever. But I mean, like I did that low-key shot of Scribs, and that's gone now. It's just gone. Had I have given it to him in a print, it would have probably been looked after. But because it was just a digital file, it's gone. You know, I take a picture of someone, and they get a print of it like this, like an instant print. They can draw on it, they can write on it, they can hand it to somebody else. They can just take it out of their pocket. It doesn't require electricity or you know, a computer or anything to look at it. They can just
what that one is.
They can just look at a picture. So these are Instax square pictures, and they come from my Instax SP3 that we got the other day. Inky took these Polaroids using a what is it? It's a 600 Polaroid. I can't remember what type it is. It's one of the ones with the autofocus on it, isn't it?
It's in the kitchen.
This is going to be more tell, not show, because I just really can't be asked. And are there any Instax minis in here?
No.
No.
They're all Polaroid.
Okay, so everyone knows that Polaroid went under a while ago. Their film division was still pretty hot, but financially speaking, Polaroid wasn't viable, like as a big company.
Nope.
And chemically, Polaroid wasn't really allowed, from what I understand. Like some of the chemicals they were using in Polaroid film was just a no-go, depending on where it was made and all that kind of stuff. So it went away. They bought it back. You can now buy film for your instant cameras again. This is a modern take from Fuji. You can actually buy Fuji Instax cameras, but I don't tend to use them. An Instax Square, which is the newest format from Fuji, is about the same size
I win.
as the main
Bid.
picture on a Polaroid.
I win.
Have you just gaffed that to your wrist?
Yeah. Because I'm doing this and it's doing...
The bell's doing your nutting.
Yeah.
Fuji also do a smaller print. Hang on.
You don't realise how small they are until you've got all the different sets like around it, and you can see how small it is.
There you go. First thing you comment was, "Oh my god, super small." Women say that to me all the time.
No, they don't.
They do.
No,
Look how small it is.
Women don't say fuck all to you.
No, I know. I know. You do. You tell me how small they are.
Only when you ask.
But
Am I small? If you want me to say yes, then yes.
the answer is yes. So these are your original. These were, what did they call these? These were the original run of Instax, weren't they? They did Instax Minis,
Yeah.
Instax Wide, and now they're doing Instax. Now they're doing Instax Squares. I've never had anything with an Instax Wide print. They've only done one camera with an Instax for Instax Wide. They don't do a printer for it. But so there's your Mini, and you know, notice that all of my pictures tend to be of Inky. Oh, hang on, was this the one that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's an Instax Mini of some random dudes down. Is that the bitch in the ditch?
That's bitch in the ditch, yeah.
Okay, some random dudes at
That's
the
the
bitch in
only
the ditch.
reason why I kept it, because I knew the pub. Don't know the people. I knew
So,
the pub.
yeah, Inky found it on the streets. Like someone was like really drunk one night, took some Instax Minis, and you know. So if I go to, there you go. Well, there you go. There's an Instax Mini next to a Polaroid, and then if I grab a square, whoop, and pop that in next to the original Mini, and line it up. It's not going to be great. That's the kind of difference you get size-wise.
We were saying about the zinc printer ones.
Oh, well, yeah, because we started with the digital to analog with Polaroid Zinc, and that is the zero ink heat transfer papery stuff, kind of like what you get in
Receipts.
Yeah, in receipts, but it was colour, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Those were neat. They faded though, didn't they? The resolution wasn't quite there either back in the day, and it's not film.
Paper's better though now.
Yeah,
Paper's
well, the printers are better now as well, because that was like we had a Gen 1, didn't we?
Yeah. And everyone's going, what the fuck is she doing? I've just stripped the bed.
Yeah. Right. These are actual. This is actual photochemistry. This is an exposed piece of instant film, much like this. Just this is spat out of a printer. So this vlog is not making any sense at all. But so here's the trick. They all come from different things. You've got a set that come from instant cameras. You've got some that come from a square printer. Some that come from another printer.
Oh, shit.
Right.
Man, I've got a set on the floor.
Got a set on the floor. Right, this is your Instax SP1, and this is primarily a way to get photos from your phone. That's what it was designed for. From your phone to an instant print, a little tiny, one of the smaller prints. You download the app. The app connects to this. You push the photo to this. It then displays the image to the film, exposes the film that's inside, and it spits it out. You then have a permanent, as long as you look after it anyway, photo from your phone. You can also connect them up to...
Charlie, no.
Not Charlie. You can't connect the printer up to Charlie. You can also connect them up to Fuji cameras, which is why I've picked this up. This is an XT1. It's a very old model from Fuji. I wanted one of these. Zach Arias turned me on to these years ago. Years and years and years ago. These have built-in Wi-Fi. These cameras have an SSID on them, written on the bottom. You input that number into here, and I can literally go into the menu, the display menu, press the playback button, find the photo I want, and I can hit the OK button and it'll say, hey, do you want to print? And I'm like, yeah, I want to print. And then it will give me a little box based on what kind of printer it's detected it's connected to, and then I select that area on the photograph, and it will then push that image through Wi-Fi to the printer. So in this case, this is my instant camera. I take photos with this, push them to that, or if I do take a picture with Panasonic, or like the GH5 that's in the other room, or one of the old Canons, or one of my old Pentaxes, or if Inky sends me a picture, I put it onto my phone and then use the app to push to these. Rad bits of kit. Look, I love these. The idea that I can literally walk up to someone, like this, yeah, and I go, click, and I take your photo, and then I can then print it out and hand it to you. I can literally hand you a picture. You can then write on it. We can date it or whatever, and you put it in your pocket, stuff it up your ass, whatever it is you do with it. You've got it. It's yours. This is a bit different. Okay, Polaroid's approach or Polaroid Originals, as they're now known, their groove is different. So they still make cameras to take their Polaroid cartridges. But this doesn't take, well, it does take 600 film. There are two types of film from Polaroid, three types, four. Currently being manufactured, the most used is the SX70 type, 600 type, and I-type. Ideally, this only uses I-type. The main difference between those is film sensitivity, and the I-type doesn't come with any batteries in it. So it's a little bit cheaper. This doesn't need, so the I-type film, Polaroid film comes with batteries because these cameras do absolutely dick. They get power from the film cartridge. Push the film cartridge in, the batteries in the film cartridge make contact with the camera turns on, bickety bam, job done. I-type doesn't have batteries in it, so you can't load them into old cameras. This already has a battery in it, so you just turn it on, right? And how this works, and this is actually kind of neat, more photochemistry for you, right? You turn it on. Where's the on button? It's somewhere there. Right, it's on. And then what you do is you load up the Polaroid app on your phone. Okay. I don't think this is quite as convenient as the Fuji method, but it's very nice anyway. Right? You load up the photo you want on the app. You put your phone on this little tray here. Screen down. And then through the power of magic lenses and photochemistry, the app will then say, right, or this will then beep. When it beeps, you press the button. It uses the magic lenses to see what's on your screen, exposes the film, out comes the image that you had on your phone. It's a fair bit. Someone's going to say to me, "That's a fair bit of faff, Scaz. Why would you want to do that? Isn't that such a hipstery thing to do?" I grew up with physical photos. I've owned digital for a long time, and I was a complete digital nub. But to me, there's nothing quite like having an actual photo album with physical photos in it. Two of my most prized possessions are that I've got two small photo albums with just a handful of photos of me as a child, me with my mum, me with Bard and Bing at a wrestling event. There's some digitals that were printed out. They look crap now, but the ones that were taken on an actual camera, taken to an actual lab and actually printed, those still look good. Those albums are important to me. All of the stuff I have digitally is pretty much throwaway. If I don't log into an account to go and see them, or I lose a hard drive, I have no idea what photos I have. I have no attachment to them because I don't feel them, I don't see them. I don't realistically see them. Every image you print on one of those things is going to be slightly softer than the original. The better the quality of the image that you put into it, the higher the quality of the image you're going to get out of it. But these aren't going to be like blow up on the wall prints. Obviously, they're always going to have that kind of 1960s, 1970s aesthetic. But these, I can feel them, I can hold them, I can display them. Right? I don't have to worry about, oh, there's a power cut now my photos are gone. Oh, my hard drive's fouled, my photos are gone. Sure, if there's a fire, my photos are gone, but it's kind of the same with my computer, right? I'm going to back them on the cloud. Are you still actually looking at them though? No. This makes photography feel more personal to me again. It does literally show a series of moments rather than just shit that you palm around on your oh, flick, 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 flick. I had an idea of what I wanted to talk about with this stuff. I want to show off how to do it and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? I honestly think nothing beats being able to hold a photograph. Nothing quite. It's not a photograph until you can pass it to someone.
Do you know what? I can't wait because I'm saving all the capsules.
Yeah, the cartridges, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to have a wall full of them, basically.
Actually, don't get me wrong, digital's great. I do love digital. It's convenient. You can just whip out your phone, whip out your camera anytime.
But you never see them.
Snap a picture, but you're never actually looking at them. The sheer number of photographs that you and I just have stored on hard drives or servers, on social media.
Just don't see them.
We don't actively go out of our way and go, what about that moment? Or, what about that photo? And as I said, Google and Facebook and that go out of their way to say, hey, remember this day, and then everyone freaks the fuck out because there's something they don't want to remember or they don't want to see.
It's like it's a picture of me and with the lady that I fell up.
Oh yeah, you had a bit of an argument with one of your mates recently.
Yeah, and that turned up. I was like, oh yeah, but I bet you most people are like, delete.
Yeah.
They're not in my life no more.
Delete.
Goodbye.
They're not photos, digital photos. They're not important.
Why
they don't.
deny what happened in your life?
Yeah, but loads of people do it. Loads of people do it. There's no two ways about it. My life has been shit, but there are a series of moments I'd like to be able to keep hold of. A digital photo doesn't hold much to me. It doesn't, because I've never seen it, I've never felt it. It's just some kind of I don't know, if a photograph gets deleted, what's to stop me from just making another one later? You know what I mean? Like, oh, that one's gone, well, here you go, camera, click, there you go, there's another one. It doesn't feel like a photo until it's actually there to hold. I can put it in a box, and, you know, my mum has still got loads of photos of when I was a child. My uncle's got a couple of photos of when he was younger. I don't know if my children are ever going to have a time when they're going to look at photos from when they were younger unless I've made them public online. Because they're all going to be locked down to my accounts or whatever. Or what if those services disappear? I don't know what I'm doing with this. I like photography and I like instant prints, and these are some cool ways to get digital into the realm of physical. And it's an actual proper exposed, you know, there's photochemistry involved. It's a matted object that you can hand to someone else right there as soon as it comes out. And it's reproducible too, because in these cases they are printers rather than single shot cameras. Maybe people should try them these days. Like I say, digital's cool, it's convenient, but there's just nothing quite like being able to hand a photo to someone. To be able to write a date on it, write a message on it. Whatever. If you've gotten to this point in the vlog,
Congrats.
yeah, well, not really congrats. I mean, good job on suffering through 6 hours of me talking absolute bollocks and indulging my fluff about instant photography that made absolutely no sense, incoherent ramblings and all that. I now reward you with something you can't have. Homemade spaghetti and meatballs. Sorry, just so you know, this smells really good, just you can't...
Gluten-free.
You can't have it. My wife made it. It's got animal in it. And this...
And you've got 80 meatballs. 80 meatballs.
Hey! Red. Oh.
Before, there should be some lunch if you want any later.
Look. So, we've just done a live stream. A little bit of time's passed. Inky is comfortable. And the boys have come home, and Mum has just brought around this wonderful box with Nintendo on it. And in the box came, in bubble wrap, I'm surprised, actually, they sent us 5 pairs of Joy-Cons. Was it three of the neons we sent back? My neons, Williams Theo's neons, and then my yellows,
and everyone's like, what about
and my Splatoons. Well, you didn't send yours back because you never really used your Switch outside of Let's Go Eevee.
Pikachu.
Was it Pikachu? No, you had Eevee. The kids had Pikachu. Yeah, so they sent it back, but on a couple of our inquiries to Nintendo, they didn't know how many Joy-Cons we'd sent, and at one point, Mum, they said that we'd sent a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
They had no idea. So, but they've sent them back. Hopefully they work. Really hope they work.
You truly covet our wares? Then understand.
Sorry, honey.
We would very much like our forge. And Guardian, if you would return empty-handed, you'd best not return at all.
Let's take these to my humans. See if my humans are in their rooms. Humans!
Hi then, hello dude.
Right, 1 second. Where's your brother? Brother?
Can you shut my door?
No, brother human. Take those two. I need to know if they work. Thank you.
Should I put on the switch?
Tall human?
Oh, you sure those are mine?
I don't know.
Just wondering. Last time we had our switch, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, you guys have been using my Joy-Cons for ages, so it doesn't matter. Just use them.
Plus, we accidentally swapped one of our Joy-Cons.
It is true. So it doesn't.
Really matter.
No, it doesn't. So as long as they work, doesn't matter.
We've got a pair.
Yeah. And I'll keep the other neon pair downstairs just in case. But tomorrow, I want to know straight away, do they work?
We're gonna try.
Well, actually, yeah. Plug them into your switches, and I want to see if they still work when you unplug them, because one of them didn't. And I want to know if they fixed it. Cross your fingers. Right, these two have just let me know the battery's dead. So they'll let me know tomorrow when they...
Oh no! We don't actually know!
No, you don't know if they work, mate, because William had one where it would work if it was plugged into the switch, but as soon as he unplugged it from the switch, it stopped working. So I need to know tomorrow if they fixed that problem. But I can't remember which Joy-Con it was that did it, so I've got to test all of them. Look! We said I weren't gonna show. Inky's now doing the dun dun dun. Right. Now Inky has a bit of trouble with her phone because Bob's got to be over 4.6 inches the screen. There you go. Bing. There you go. So Inky has to kind of shuffle about your screen a bit, don't you, to get it in just the right place?
Yeah, I do.
But on my phone, I can literally just go and whap it on the doobry to get an exposure, and that'll take about what 15 minutes for the old Polaroid original stuff to expose,
Yeah.
and then you'll end up with a Polaroid. Magic, that, isn't it? You said I know. I know. Shut up. Just had a romantic meal with the wife. Excuse me. But these are the battery packs that come out of 600 film and SX70 film. If you buy them from the Polaroid Originals, they're branded Impossible from the Impossible Project, and there's your two cell batteries. These are the things that aren't in iType to allow your classic cameras to work. This is literally your film cartridge is the power supply for your camera. No batteries in the camera, so that was always kind of neat, I suppose. I always thought they did a recycling program for these, but I don't think they do anymore, so I'm going to have to email them, because we've got quite a few and we are getting more, you know, quite regularly, so... Just want to throw out there, there's kind of a roll down. Digital is cool, but I think it devalues. That's probably not the right way. It doesn't really cheapen something, does it? It's like once upon a time you had to be good at something because things were expensive to do. Kind of like how woodworking and metalwork is still expensive now to do. You can't just be completely shite at it all the time and still keep doing it. Once upon a time, photography was quite expensive, so you had to have money to keep doing it. Music production, you used to have studio time and all that kind of thing. And it's great that we have digital now because it's made everything cheaper and more people can do it, but now we have so many people, it's almost cheapened the arts. I can't really say it, but it feels kind of like that, you know. Everyone can now go to Argos and buy a camera and become a professional photographer. They're not. I mean, I'm a crap photographer, but I have made money in photography. I probably don't really have any business doing it. Had it have been the days of film, I would have probably bounced a long time ago because most of my stuff sucks. You know, you can't go around shooting 35mm film and only having a couple of keepers per roll. If you did, then they'd have to be really, really, really good. Whereas now we can just shoot all day, chimp, and go, oh, look at that, that was a good one. Oh, I've got loads of space. Just fucking blast away all day, and You know, same with music production. You used to have some kind of skill. You couldn't just be like a trash band and all of a sudden get a record contract kind of thing. Like, or you couldn't just like sit in your house with your audio interface. Now you'd end up having to produce a demo on a really shitty thing. You'd have to kind of prove that you had a solid groove, and that you could make something audible on the lowest end gear. That's not quite how it works. The barriers to entry being dropped are really cool in some respects, but in just other areas it just feels like it's really, now that everyone can do it, you know, it's kind of hard sometimes it's hard for the people who are actually good at it to get, you know, there's much more noise, less signal, more noise, and it's hard for the people who are producing an actual signal, an actual quality product to be seen, because the cream doesn't always rise to the top. And sometimes I don't know, I still don't think you can beat having a physical product for some things. You know, being able to hold a photograph. You don't feel as attached to things anymore. That's another thing that feels cheapened now in the digital age. You get a subscription to Spotify or Deezer or something like that, go to music again. You don't really give a shit about the track. You know, you listen to it and you listen to it and then just move on to the next thing, and then the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and a lot of times you have no idea what it is you're listening to. You've just got it cycling over and over and over. It's going to like a set of playlists. Like, I've had things run on like Spotify or whatever, and I'll wake up in the middle of the night and all of a sudden this random track is playing because I forgot to turn off the thing, and it's like, what the hell is this? You know, it's you now don't buy an album and you know, go from cover to cover and read the notes, read the lyrics and stuff. It's not the same experience. It doesn't feel the same. You don't get attached to it. Metal Hammer's Best of British Steel is a cracking example of this, right? Metal Hammer's Best of British Steel is the compilation album that I said has, you know, got me into music. It got me into metal. I say it's a great album, but realistically speaking, I mean, there's only 5 tracks on the whole thing I'd listen to, if that. And only 2 of those bands really stuck with me through my life. But because I've had an experience with the physical album, you know, I've tied it into so many memories in so many places. It's up here, you know. Whereas, I don't know, random stuff I've listened to with the wall over Spotify or Apple Music or Google Music or whatever, I don't know what the hell half of it is. I don't give a toss about it. It's not on my shelf. If it gets deleted or the streaming service goes bad, it's gone. I've never gone looking for lyrics or whatever. I've never really even bothered looking at the album art. So it doesn't have that same experience. I think it's just, in a lot of cases, we've made it so that things are now throwaway. Kind of like a lot of stuff we have in our culture now. We are in a throwaway society, and I feel that even the arts are getting that way too. You know, photos, digital, just throw them away. Music, digital, doesn't matter. Not only are we listening to lower quality music, there's a hell of a lot of crap out there. More than there ever has been. And the experience just ain't there. Are my kids going to have that same experience of picking up a vinyl, picking up a tape, picking up a CD, going into a shop and flicking through loads of stuff and like going, oh man, this one's kind of cool? Or are they just going to have an algorithm recommending them things, and they're not going to, you know, they're not going to organically find the next thing they like? You know, it's just going to be because so many people have listened to this song and this song and this song, and so this song should, you know, really fit in with what you like next. digital has its place. Just sometimes I think there's nothing quite like having a physical something, be it music or music, a print, a photo, a piece of artwork. Just, the experience is different. Your ability to tie it into things that happen in your life is different. At least that's what I think. Take a crack at turning some of your digital stuff into analog again. Be it photos or music or whatever. If you're still recording music in the analog way, fucking rocking. If you're still busting out like an 8-track recorder or something, or a 4-track recorder, and that's pretty cool. Because you don't have all of those things to save a shit job on the analog setup as you do on digital. If you don't set it up right, you got a shit sound or shit video. You can't bring it all back. Anyway, I'm gonna head off. Don't get me wrong, as I say, digital has its place, it has its merits, but just I'm sounding like a right hipster. It just doesn't have the feel to it. It's very clinical and it opens the door to shit. That's why I want life to be more signal, less noise. But these days people want, because they just want everything, it's more noise and less of a quality signal. Hope you're well. I'll see you all with a bit of luck tomorrow. Thanks for listening to my random shite.